and Lagos. Here we are, 30 minutes gone past 6 o'clock, and this is Business Express brought to you by InterSwitch. Joining me for today's episode, as usual, in fact, headlining today's episode is Rotus. Good morning. How you doing?
Fine, Shebah. Good morning to you. Good morning to all our viewers and listeners as well. Good to be with you to kick off the week.
All right, so there's a lot that's been happening over the course of this weekend, Rotus, and yeah, let's just get into it. So what do you have up for us on the plate today? Hello, Rotus. There you are. So what do you have for us today?
All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. I think we got timed out for a second there. Yeah, lots going on. So there's been an update on the floating production storage units that
looks like we're having a slight issue, but Rotus should be back on. There he is. All right, Rotus, let's try this again.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, sorry about that. So SEPCOL have released just yesterday. They released put out a press release which essentially is giving an update on that really horrible fire that occurred on February the 2nd. That in the Trinity Spirits floating production storage vessel, FPSO. So there was a big explosion, big fire February the 2nd. 10 people were supposedly on board, and there was a lot of environmental damage, lives apparently lost. So the company said the fire was contained on February the 3rd, and they've now put out an with respect to what's the latest on that fire. So this was in the Niger Delta region. That's where this took place. So according to the company, contained the fire on February the 3rd. There were 10 people that were on board. Some of them apparently were not authorized to be there. They're saying that some people were not supposed to be on the vessel, and that's a significant update according to the company. They've spoken to the next of kin and survivors of the crew that were on board. I think 3 survivors have been found so far. 5 bodies have been recovered, and they're still doing a lot of environmental assessments of the area. This is significant because there's a lot going on in Nigeria's oil and gas industry, especially that Niger Delta region, and there's been a lot of focus on environmental issues. Back in November of last year, ITO had a wellhead in what they call their, I think it was Santa Barbara region in Niger Delta, where assets that they bought from Shell, one of the wellheads, popped, blew up, and was leaking oil into the area. I think it's the Nembe Creek is what it's called. Yeah, it was leaking for like 30 days, almost 45 days before they finally, put that to bed. There was some good news in oil and gas industry in that Seplat Energy PLC just recently concluded, I think, $1.2 billion worth of asset purchase from ExxonMobil. Now there's no environmental issues there, but Seplat is a publicly traded company. They're going to be taking over those assets. It helps to build their own portfolio, but there are environmental concerns as to make sure that what happened with ITO and Shell does not happen with Seplat, who I think they're releasing their full year results later today. Stock has gone through the roof. Now, so bringing in this FPSO issue now with latest update, they say they're still doing environmental assessments. They're still yet to recover, I think, 2 folks who were on the vessel out of 3 bodies found, 3 survivors, 5 bodies found. Yeah. So, when you talk about our oil and sector, the environmental discussion is still very much front and center when it comes to, because this was a vessel, Yinka is in the oil and gas. He sent messages about this. Other people have said that, look, this was a 50-year-old vessel. Was it well maintained? Was it well taken care of? Led to the big fire and explosion. Could that have been deterred? So that's the latest from the company on that front. There is going to be, we believe, environmental damage. So they're yet to give an update on that so far. So that's what's happening there.
Well, while we bring you other news now, do remember we are streaming live up on youtube.com/smooth981 FM Lagos. You can leave comments up on the live stream, questions, whatever it is, contributions to the conversation. You can do the same thing via WhatsApp. The number for that is 0809 4440981. And I'm already seeing messages in from Gwenga Akomu, but let me quickly tell you that you can also go over to Twitter, use the hashtag BusinessExpress981. Now, Gwenga Akomu comes in with a few messages. He's talking about the report of reported fuel scarcity that might just persist because of the conflicts between Ukraine and Russia, how a paper came out with that, and how the conflict is disrupting shipping activities. So he said, is this us just putting our fate in the hands of others? He also says, we are poor regarding what we've just spoken about. We're poor when it comes to protecting the environment in the oil and gas industry. So this SEPLAT accident is in tune with our ways. At least they are providing information. It's sad, though, says Gwenga.
Yeah, and just to clarify, it's not SEPLAT, it's SEPCOL. SEPCOL is Shebah Exploration and Production Company Limited. So it's SEPCOL. SEPLAT, that's a company. SEPLAT, they just bought assets from ExxonMobil. They announced it on Friday. But yeah, he's right. I mean, there are a lot of environmental concerns. On the fuel scarcity issue,
well, while we wait for Rotus to catch up real time, I'll tell you. Apologies for that. I'll tell you a little bit.
Fuel issues.
Rotus,
all we're seeing is that.
Well, people, looks like we have a slight technological issue. So while I just get Rotus to come back on. Rotus, you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Let's try that again. We missed out on a bunch of what you said. So can you rewind?
Certainly. I was saying that the issue with Ukraine and Russia shouldn't translate to fuel scarcity. We're seeing fuel lines, at least from my perspective, reducing as far as the issue with contaminated fuel that was imported. So that's being addressed.
Really? Because funny enough, I'm seeing the opposite around my neck of the woods. Fuel lines increasing,
really?
It would seem.
So you're still seeing fuel lines?
They increased dramatically over the weekend.
Well, that's just terrible. So if that's the case, then that means that the fuel contamination matter is not yet been completely resolved, because the NNPC said they would provide more supplies. I think what's happening now, fuel stations, I guess, are reducing their hours. So maybe what I'm seeing is closed fuel stations with no lines and no service at all. Maybe that's what I'm mixing up and confusing with fuel lines going down. So, everybody has eyewitness accounts. So thank you for that update. But yeah, Russia, Ukraine, I don't see that impacting on fuel supplies. It's just increasing the price of oil. OPEC should be meeting on Wednesday or Thursday, OPEC Plus, to decide what to do about their next output target for April. People still think they'll remain at 400,000 barrels per day for their members. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, those pertinent messages there from Benga Kamu. So I get where it's coming from.
All right, now what is this about Nigerian banks naming clients with suspicious dollar transactions? What's going on there?
So some folks are still using travel documents to get foreign exchange. So if you want to travel, you can get a travel agency to get a flight itinerary for you. If you're planning on traveling in 3 months' time or whenever, a week or two, if you want to apply for it, well, let's say a week or two, a few months' time, you can take that travel booking to an embassy along with your passport info details to apply for a visa. So for the FX that you can get at the central bank's window for business travel allowance and personal travel, people are taking, they're booking flights that they haven't paid for with travel agencies to the central bank, collecting FX and then selling it on the black market. So you collect at like 415, 416 per dollar, and then you go and sell at 570, 571. So the banks are now putting out the names of those people that are doing it.
Nice illegal work, if you can get it. No.
Very terrible. And it's been going on for a while. So the central bank has said if you get caught, they will, put a block on your account. You won't be allowed to purchase foreign exchange. But a lot of people are saying, look, the solution to this is to essentially devalue, move the FX rate from official rate from 416 to 571 to eliminate the incentives of wanting to.
Oh, wow. Imagine that going from 460 to 571. Oh, no.
That would be terrible. It'll be heavy. But the thing is, Nigeria still is so dependent.
Because I can only imagine what would happen with people who are using this for school, people who are trying to get business transactions done. There's a lot that this would affect and a lot of prices that it would affect as well. So we're just waiting to see if Rotus will join us again. Okay, there he is. While I read messages coming in from you, Rotus, don't worry, I see you. But let's see what Yinka has to say up on WhatsApp and then we'll get back to you. Is that okay? Yeah?
Yep, certainly.
All right, let's do this. Okay, so Yinka Bolu says up on WhatsApp that some folks were not authorized, talking about SEPCOL now, that some folks were not authorized to be on board is nothing but balderdash. For someone who's familiar with the game, an FSO or FPSO is not a place you just go on. First of all, you need a chopper or a helicopter to take you on board, which will most likely take off from the Air Force Base Port Harcourt, a place that is well guarded against anyhow persons. I love the way he puts that. The location of that vessel is around over 100 meters deep, so you don't just end up there unauthorized. So it tells how crazy the whole thing sounds. The fact remains that some people should not be playing in this space. All right, so wow, thank you for sending that in, Yinka. That's real interesting. All right, we've got this one.
You can hear me?
Now we can, yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so real quick, can you still hear me? Okay. Yep. Very, very quickly, yeah. So, well said from Yinka. Speaking of foreign exchange, the central bank released a circular giving details on their RT200 program. They want to get exports from Nigeria up to 200 billion within 3 to 5 years, and they've released details on a rebate scheme. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like I'm.
Oh my gosh, Rotus, you become so paranoid right now. Don't worry, keep going.
Yeah. So very quickly, the rebate scheme, if you export semi-finished or finished goods out of the country, you repatriate the dollars back here. If you sell it into the I&E window, you will get 65 naira for every $1 that you sell in the I&E. If you make something here in Nigeria, you export it, and you make $100 or $1,000. If you sell that $1,000 into the investor's window, then you will get.
Wait, hold on. If you sell that $1,000 into the investors, what window?
Investors and exporters window, the I&E window.
Okay.
You'll get 65,000 naira for it. So it's meant to incentivize you to make more goods to export and put it into the foreign exchange market. So they just released details on that, and it's hopefully supposed to spur non-oil exporters into being able to, get more foreign exchange liquidity into the country.
All right, now speaking about this, let's go on to what people have to say, seeing as we've got less than a minute to go on the show. We got this one in from Ogeno Chuko, who says, a solution to this round tripping is to float the Naira. Really, just put that out there.
Tough. That's gonna be tough.
But he's like, that's the solution right there, people. Watts Gilbert Musa says, aside from the unfortunate explosion that occurred in February in the Niger Delta area, can we ask ourselves the big question of the resultant effect of the huge financial investment in the Niger Delta from the inception of Umpadek Oil Minerals Producing and Development Commission in November 1992 till date? Why is the area still in such a deplorable state?
That's a very good question. That's it. I mean,
question.
Yeah. There's a lot that still needs to be done there. A whole lot on environmental issues, cleaning up, and so on and so forth.
And regarding the fuel scarcity, Dikwa says there seems to be a schedule for these fuel stations to dispense. The price of petrol in Nigeria is ridiculously low and has encouraged diversion to neighboring countries. So the people who struggle to meet supply because there is a natural market for diversion. The present fuel price would naturally breed scarcity. All right, and That's it. We've
Good
come to
point.
the end of the show. Thank you so much for all your messages that you've been sending in. Do so tomorrow as well when Business Express comes your way at 6:30, complete with Rotus. Rotus, thanks for
Thanks,
joining
Shebah.
me. We can
Thank you.
find
Thank you
you
so
up
much.
on Twitter at Rotanquote. Please go check him out. And we, of course, are at Smooth981 FM. All right, Rotus. Bye. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you. Thank you. See ya.
Okay, so people coming up, it's going to be some great music. Stick with us. This is Business Express, and today was brought to you by InterSwitch.
Express, brought to you by InterSwitch. Transaction solutions you can depend on.